everyone, my name is Athena Trouillot. In this video, we are going to talk about the Topspin Dink. Before we go into the Topspin Dink, if you want to evolve your game, make sure you subscribe to Selkirk TV to stay up to date on our lessons and our podcasts. So with the Topspin Dink, this is one that is really popular. We get a lot of questions about this one. When you're in a dinking rally and you kind of want to give your opponent a different look or a different pace of ball, adding in a topspin dink is a great way to do that. The most important part about hitting a topspin dink is one, where you make contact with the ball is really important. So if I have a clock on the ball, I want to make sure that I'm making contact with the ball kind of at the bottom of the clock, so around 6 o'clock. Depending on the angle of the ball that I want to take it to with this topspin dink, if I want it to go across court and kind of go to my left, then I'll hit a little bit more of the right of the ball, so like 4 or 5 o'clock. If I want it to go kind of straight in front of me, then I'll hit more 6 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock on the ball. So the contact point is really important. And the next part, when you're hitting these topspin dinks, is making sure that, number one, you drop your paddle below your wrist. This makes it easier to make sure that you make contact with that bottom of the ball, which is what we're looking for. Second part, as I'm kind of brushing that ball up, if you've ever heard the term kind of like windshield wiper, you're kind of coming up on the ball. You're using a little bit of wrist. But what you want to avoid is using all wrists. So sometimes what we'll see is they just come across like this. And so you want to avoid that because it's just inconsistent, will cause a lot of mistakes. So the face of my paddle, as I'm brushing up the ball, I want to stay facing amber the whole time. I don't want it to be kind of a flick. So if this side of my paddle that I'm hitting the ball with ends up towards me, that means I kind of flicked my wrist, where I want to be brushing upwards on the ball, and the face of my paddle should be facing amber the whole time. In this scenario, less is more. So I don't want to be trying to overspin it with my arm. Remember, it's just a little bit of wrist and then some elbow as it's coming up. So I'm here, kind of coming up on the ball. I'm making contact with the bottom of the ball, brushing upwards, making sure my paddle face is facing amber the whole time. And I'm not using too much wrist, right? I'm not using all wrist this way. I'm kind of brushing up. Remember, less is more in this scenario. So as I'm brushing upward, that's naturally creating that topspin. There's no reason for me to try to overdo it. Once you kind of get a little bit out of hand, that's when you might have a little bit more mistakes and be a little bit more inconsistent. But if you're able to keep your swing short and compact, it allows you to just be a little bit more accurate with those dinks and be more successful.